All right, well, thank you for tuning in to Leading Forecast. I'm Swift forecaster Joseph Cooper. We're going to talk a little bit about what's currently going on very quickly, and then we'll get into next week's weather, which will be quite a exciting event, I think, here as we get into the next several days to see exactly what happens. A lot of good portion of the nation is going to see some snow, then some ice, and maybe even a little bit of severe weather with the system, depending what the track is. And so we'll get into that here in just a second. Going on over to the current watches and warnings here. There are some winter storm warnings up across Minnesota as well as Wisconsin here. And that is caused by a clipper as it starts to move to the southeast, and we'll see that come across Wisconsin and Michigan, eventually down into Ohio. And that's going to be what kind of causes a little bit of light snow across that area tonight. Nothing too major. As you can see here, the clipper is situated just off to right on the Minnesota-Wisconsin line. That's going to move southeast down across Lake Michigan and Wisconsin, even Michigan. And like I said, spreading some light snow with it, but nothing too major, not even close to what we're probably going to see with the next system. Speaking of the next system, this is as we get into late Monday afternoon. Low pressure system, you can see it, the red L down there across New Mexico. And that is the next system we're going to watch come across the Great Plains and up into the Midwest and eventually off to the east and northeast here over the next several days, over the next 7 days, I guess I should say. As you can see at this point, Monday, late afternoon, storm is really starting to line up. You can see out across Wyoming, out across Colorado, and even western Nebraska, we're starting to see a little bit of snow break out in the cold sector there, but nothing too much. But it's the next day here we really see this storm wind up. This is the GFS model. This is by late Tuesday afternoon. Low pressure system kind of centered out across East Texas here. We're seeing snow break out across places like Kansas, northern Oklahoma, central Oklahoma, maybe a little bit of severe weather down across maybe southern Arkansas over into Louisiana, and some rain out across the Missouri area and northern Missouri, seeing a little bit of snow at this point too. As we get into Wednesday, that's when the storm really ramps up. We see it come across Kentucky, places like Illinois, northern Indiana, back into Missouri, Iowa, getting quite a bit of snow. Central Indiana, the Indianapolis area, probably seeing a snow-ice mix at this time. And then down towards Louisville, you're starting to see rain. We could see some severe weather Wednesday afternoon, more down towards the Alabama, Georgia area, maybe even into the North South Carolina area. We'll have to see exactly how that plays out. We see some cold air damming here off to the East Coast, where you can kind of see the lines coming in here, and you can see the cold air starting to come in. What this tells me is we'll probably see the potential for a low pressure system to kind of develop, which is our next slide here. You can see the low pressure system setting off the East Coast here and east of Vermont and New Hampshire and places like that, Massachusetts, and that's going to provide some snow back across the Northeast. Probably not nearly as much as what we are expecting to see here, or expected to see with the last storm here, where they got the 19-20 inch snows out there. Not even close, guys, with that one. All right, the next solution is actually going to be the European model solution. I've been preaching this, but we're looking at the NAO right now. And what I've actually circled in yellow, if you can see, the NAO goes positive at the same time this storm is forecasted to kind of swing across the nation. And usually what that means, when you see a positive NAO, this won't be a big East Coast nor'easter. This will be kind of the kind of storm they're predicting right now. And when you see it go negative, which you can see in the back here, when it actually the lines go below the black line, that's when we've seen our big East Coast storms. And that's usually when you get your new good nor'easters and things like that, is when those NAOs go negative. And I've been watching this all week, and all this past week especially, and really seeing that it stays positive. And I really think that the European model has a better handle on this, and has had a better handle on this than any other model. This is by, as we get into Tuesday, your low pressure system is centered down across Arkansas, maybe eastern Oklahoma. Severe weather breaking out from southern Arkansas, potentially down into East Texas, western Louisiana. You got very heavy snows coming across eastern Nebraska, northeast Kansas, even back into central Kansas, and up into Iowa. And then you got some around the Kansas City area and southward. You're seeing probably some ice at this point as we get late into Tuesday. As we swing over to Wednesday, you can see the low actually comes up almost right over central Indiana. This is by midday Wednesday. And you see the snow's breaking out right across Iowa, up into northern Ohio, northern Indiana, and then you see more of an ice line around the Kokomo, Indiana, over into the central portions of Ohio, and you end up getting rain to the south there, and actually the majority of your snow ends up back across the Iowa, Illinois area as you get into the next several hours, and eventually spreads eastward, but this would be a little bit different of a scenario than what we'd see with the GFS. Then as we do get off into the Thursday time period here, we kind of arrive at the same situation here as we did with the GFS as far as the low that we've seen come across the central portions of the United States phasing out with the cold air blocking, and then another low coming in forming off the coast to produce a little bit more East Coast snow here. So these models are really going to flip-flop over the next, really the next several days until this system really arrives, and so we'll just have to keep an update and keep an eye out for this. And so that's really all I have for now. We'll keep you updated on what's going on, and I'm Swift Lead Forecaster Joseph Cooper. Have a great night.